Good morning, afternoon, or evening, dear yogis here at Yoga TX. My name is Echo, so happy to have you here. And this practice is inspired by my darkness, by my shadow, by our darkness, by our shadow. And something that came to me, I was leading a dance 2 nights ago, and I was DJing, and somebody said to me, "Oh man, you know, you're like Kali. You're like Kali who comes in and destroys the energy." And the energy on the dance floor, you know, they said, "I didn't like this. It was like so dark in the beginning and I had to leave the dance floor." And there was a part of me that felt like, oh goodness, they didn't like something that I did. They didn't like my way of communicating, you know, what was happening in my internal experience. And later, some people came to me and said, "Wow, that was one of the most powerful sets that I've been to. I was able to move through something that was really emotionally stuck in me, and I had tears, and it was just really powerful for me." And it wasn't that I needed that validation, that it helped somebody else, but it was a reminder to be authentic to myself and to my own shadow, and that I am not always joyful, and that I'm not always happy and excited. Sometimes I'm melancholic, and I'm deep, and I'm dark, and I'm primal. And so there is this invitation to you on your practice to explore those parts of yourself. When you're feeling that shadow come up in that darkness, a lot of times we'll go to the yoga mat and we're like, "Oh, I'm going to find my light there. I'm going to get rid of this darkness and I'm going to find my joy and my ecstasy again." But what if you moved with that darkness? What if you moved with that shadow and you too invited that in and let that be really beautiful? So I invite you, when these things come up, to, instead of trying to be something else that's more celebrated in the world and that is more in ecstasy, to let that part of you, that darkness, that shadow, to also be pleasurable. So that being said, we're going to start in a yogi squat. So we're going to get nice and low. So come down into your yogi squat. Use the elbows to press the knees open. Let the spine be long. And if you're quite open, you can use little fists to get the knees to be more open. If you need to put a couch cushion or something underneath the seat, if you're on your tiptoes, this is also fine. Shut the eyes down. And so the invitation is for you to welcome all that you are. If you are not a joyful, happy, excited, laughing person, you don't need to be. Maybe you're deep and poetic and artistic and mysterious and, yeah, melancholic. This is also beautiful. Hands to the earth. Come onto the tiptoes a bit and just move from side to side. So one knee can go down, the other knee. Inwardly rotate one knee, externally the other. Stay on the fingertips. Getting into the groin. Come onto the outer sides of the feet as well. And just moving back and forth, but keep the spine long. So we're getting into the hips. We hold a lot of tension emotionally in the hips. Maybe one arm wants to raise up and open the chest. And we're just expanding ourselves, because a lot of times in these moments where that shadow comes up, or we want to be something else that we're not at the moment, if we want to experience a different emotional state, we begin to contract in the body and get smaller, so that we can kind of put ourselves in a little box. So let yourself out of the box now. Come down, and we're just going to hop from side to side on the yoga mat. And we're just kind of getting into that primal movement. So you can move your hands to the side first, and then hop the feet. Breathe. Maybe you need to sigh in and out of the mouth. And as you land on one side, bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot, left arm stretching up and open. Just get nice and long. Bring the left hand to the back of the head, open the heart space. Roll down. Let's do the other side. Left hand to the outside of the left foot, right arm stretching up and open. Right hand to the back of the head, open the heart. And bring the right hand down. Let's lift the hips up. Take the feet a bit wider than the hips, quite a bit wider, but not super wide. Come onto the fingertips and slowly fold in.
Get nice and long through the back line. Let the head drop down, looking back behind you, hands down. Pressing the heels into the earth. We pause here. And take a couple sighs on the exhale. Inhale through the nostrils, exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Let out any feelings of stickiness, however it might sound. So we're vibrating the back of the throat. It feels good to just move some sound, so go for it. One more. And if it feels weird for you and you're like, I don't want to make sound, I really encourage you to try so, or just keep the hum, that vibration internally, so you can close the lips if you need to, if it feels a bit uncomfortable and you don't want to make too much sound. That's the way to start. So let's do one more. Beautiful. Come onto the fingertips. Let the feet splay out to the front and back of the mat a bit, and slowly press all the way up. Hands to the hips. Deep bend in the knees. And we're going to do a little bit of a Tai Chi movement here to open the front line of the body. So hands on the knees. You're going to drop the right shoulder to the left knee. So drop it in. Go nice and low across the body up. And then look back behind you. Open the chest. Drop the right shoulder in. Move around. Look back behind you, back bend, open the chest. Continue to move. Breathe in and out of the nostrils. Let's come back up to neutral. Let's move the other side. So left shoulder down to the right, through the center, find that back bend. Look back behind you. And last one. Back through center, pigeon toe the feet in a bit. Fold down, bring hands to the lower back, make a fist and press the fist up behind you. Let the back line get nice and long. Hands to the earth. And let's walk the hands towards the front of the mat, bend the right knee, and step forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Bring the right hand down the right side of the body, left arm stretching up and over. Get nice and long through the left side of the body and push the hips to the left. You can look up to the left slightly. Roll down through center. Move to the other side, left arm down the left side, right arm stretching up and over. Move back through center to the right side. Left arm stretching up and over. Curl down through center once more. And right arm stretching up and over. Let's come all the way up. Feet apart and fold all the way down. Inhale, come up onto the fingertips. Bend the right knee. Stay on the right fingertips. Stretch the left arm up. Open the chest. Bring the left arm underneath the right arm, cross the elbows, palms together, come all the way up, eagle's arms, slight back bend. Come to neutral. Wrap the left leg around the right leg and sink in. So bend the knee, sink into a seat. We come into eagle arms, Garudasana. So we get all twisted up here. Great way to think of the shadow or our darkness. But staying steady and stable through that right foot. Okay, so slowly we're gonna unwrap everything, balancing on the right foot. Step the left foot behind the right. Take a hold of the left wrist, bend the right knee, and pull the left hand over towards the right. Pull the left knee behind the right. Bring the hands down and folding in like a little curtsy. And step into your forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway onto the fingertips. Bend the left knee, left fingertips stay down. Right arm stretches up and open. Take an inhale. Exhale, right arm underneath the left or behind it. Palms together. Press into the feet, bend the knees, reach all the way at back bend. And exhale, come to neutral. Wrap the right leg around the left. Sink into a seat. Eagle arms, Garudasana. Sink deep, shoulders down the back. Focal point forward on the forearms. Stay with it, can be a bit challenging. And slowly unwind. Right foot steps behind the left. Take a hold of the right wrist. Pull to the left. Deep bend in the left knee forward. Look to the right. Take an inhale. Exhale, pull the right knee behind the left. Bring the hands down like you're bowing. Bring them up behind you. And then rest them on the ground, curtsying in. And bring the right foot beside the left. Fold in. Let's take the feet hip width distance. Lift the toes. Bring the hands underneath. Gorilla pose. Let the elbows splay out. And slowly bring the hands out from underneath the feet. Take them a little wider, sink back into that squat. Hands together, elbows pressing into the knees. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine, opening the hips, that space of so much creativity, but also emotion, allowing ourselves to feel it all. And very slowly bring the hands back behind you, sink down onto the seat, lift the legs into a 90-degree angle, hands alongside the body, and we engage the core. You might sink a little bit more back, but keep the shoulders open. Let the body tremble a bit. Building some fire here. So to move through challenge, to break out of boxes, we need that fire. So it's not just about getting a core or getting abs. It's about really building strength to stand up straight in the world, to be confident in who we are and who we're not. Bring the feet down, take a hold of the shins. Let the head drop in here for a moment. Sit up nice and tall through the spine. It's important to stoke our inner fire, our Agni. That inner flame in the core that takes care of all of our internal organs and also keeps us sitting up tall and not slouching. Because when we hold that body posture of falling in on ourselves, energetically we can lose confidence. We can feel unworthy. We can feel unlovable. Body posture is so important. So make sure that you're caring for the core. Come back up, back into boat pose. Caring for the core so that you're caring energetically for how you carry yourself in the world. So do the core for your energetic power, not to have a six-pack to show the world, but to feel confident and powerful in who you are. So let everything shake, breathe deeply. And set the feet down, take a hold of the shins, sit up nice and tall. And when we do this practice, when we do it with an intention of wanting to show up more fully for ourselves and who we are, and not because we think we're imperfect and we want to be more beautiful and more skinny and have a better physically looking body. But when we do it because we want our body to feel good and we want to feel powerful, our body feels that and it becomes our ally. You know, it doesn't fight against us. So make sure that your intention behind this is for love, not judgment of self. Last one. Come into that boat pose, and if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, stretch the legs up, bring the arms out to the side. Lean back, let that shake come in. Pull the knees in. Come a little bit more forward on the mats and come down onto the back. Knees into the chest, rock from side to side, supporting the lower back and the neck. Happy baby, take a hold of the bottoms of the feet, let the knees go wide. Lower back resting. And just rock from side to side. So again, finding that childlike innocence that we all have, even if we're 50 or 60 or 100 or 20. And that part inside that just wants to be loved as it is. And it's crying, and it's fear, and it's insecurities. Learn to be with that part too. Set the feet down. You have two options here. You can either come into bridge pose, which I'll cue first, and then wheel. You can inhale, hands alongside the hips. Lift the hips, bring the shoulders beneath you, clasp the hands. Keep the knees tracking in towards each other. Or if you want to come into wheel, hands alongside the ears, finger tracking forward. Crown of the head first, and then all the way up. So we're getting a back bend here, opening the heart space, opening the lung line, the arm line into our grief. And again, just letting ourselves be fully expansive in our authentic nature. What is true for you in this moment? What are you feeling? Let it be, choose it as well, powerfully. Deep breaths in and out of the nostrils. And slowly set the hips down. Come all the way down. Take the feet together, let the knees go wide. Take the arms up overhead. Take opposite elbows. And we end in Supta Baddha Konasana, opening the heart, opening the hips, allowing whatever is to be. Deep love and gratitude to each of you on your journey. I will leave you here in this space to just be with what is. Welcome it all, choose it all powerfully, become an ally to your emotions so that your shame or your guilt or your insecurities don't feel afraid of you and your judgment. But they also become loved parts of the family. That is you. Whenever you're ready and you can take your time, you'll bring the hands to the heart and the belly and just grounding yourself in the fullness of yourself, the lightness, the dark. Namaste, dear yogis.